Imagine waking up tomorrow and every single bee on earth has just vanished without a trace. It sounds like a sci-fi movie, but this absence would effectively put one-third of our global food supply on a 4-year deadline to a total collapse. You might be wondering, would we all just starve to death right away? The short answer is no, because staple foods like wheat, rice, and coal are pollinated by the wind and would not need help from bees at all. These crops make up a huge part of what humans eat every day to stay alive. But if we wouldn't survive, then what it is the big deal? The big deal is that our diets would become incredibly boring and our health would suffer tremendously. So what specific foods would we actually lose? We would lose most of our fruits, nuts and vegetables, including favorites like apples, avocados, onions and several types of berries. Almonds, for example, simply would not exist anymore without bees to pollinate them. Even your morning pickup is at risk while coffee might survive. It would become extremely rare and expensive. You might ask, how does this affect more than just my grocery bill? It actually hits the entire food chain, including meat and milk, because bees pollinate crops like clover and alfalfa, but cattle eat food first. Without those plants, feed for livestock disappears, causing the price of meat and dairy to spike vertically. This leads to another important question: would we get sick? Yes, because most of the nutritional variety in our diet, like vitamins A and C, comes from bee-pollinated plants. Losing these could lead to serious health issues like scurvy or even blindness. You might wonder, are all bees the same? Actually, there are more than 20,000 known bee species on our planet, and while honeybees are famous for making honey, native bees are the ones that keep our wild ecosystem healthy. If we lose that diversity, we lose the foundation of nature itself. Is it true that we would only have 4 years to live? There is a famous quote often tied to Albert Einstein saying we would have only 4 years, but he probably never said it, and it is likely an exaggeration. We would survive, but we would be pretty miserable. You might be thinking, surely we can just pollinate these plants ourselves. In some places like parts of China, people are already forced to pollinate apple and pear trees by hand because the local bees are gone. However, there are not enough humans in the world to do this for every single crop we need. Scientists are also trying to build teeny robotic bees and drones to do the job, but none of these are as efficient or effective as the real thing. So why are the bees disappearing in the first place? It is not just one thing, but a mix of lost habitat, climate change, and toxic pesticides called neonicotinoids that disorient bees so they cannot find their way home. There are also tiny pests like the Viora mite that invade hives and spread deadly viruses. Does this mean we are doomed? Not necessarily, because we already have the tools to fix this. So what can we actually do to help? We can plant strips of wildflowers on farms, avoid using harmful pesticides, and protect natural forests where wild bees live. Even though a world without bees might not mean the end of humanity, it would be a world of economic hardships and poor health.